How would you like to direct a company that serves almost 70 million customers daily in over 100 countries through approximately 37,000 outlets? That's McDonald's, the world's largest restaurant chain by revenue. The McDonald's Corporation revenues come from rent, royalties, and fees paid by the franchisees, as well as sales in company-owned restaurants. McDonald's is the world's second largest private employer, only behind Walmart, with approaching 2 million employees, the majority of whom work for franchise holders. Despite intense competition and ever-changing market trends, McDonald's continues to innovate and grow. In this Prometheus Process success story, you're going to meet Michael Roberts, past president of McDonald's USA. Mr. Roberts shared his enthusiasm for the Prometheus Process with me in this interview.
The first year where it was actually implemented, I believe U.S. sales were up 4%. Second year they were up 7%. Third year 6%. So this is from a obviously a 100 billion market cap company who had competitors everywhere, who was struggling to find comp sales, year over year, same source sale.
I have really enjoyed working with Mike Roberts from the time he was heading McDonald's largest division to today, where we are working together on a startup to revolutionize the restaurant business.
When this took shape, the stock was basically at $16. Our then CEO, Jim Cantalupo, reviewed the plan and he said, "Mike, this is a powerful plan. Do you think it can work?" I said, "Jim, it will work." And we never looked back, Bob.
McDonald's is an extraordinarily complex organization. It's big. It does a lot in relatively small footprint restaurants, and it depends for its success on dedicated owner-operators and loyal suppliers. The company calls this the three-legged stool. From a planning viewpoint, this is not the kind of organization that you can send out orders from the top and expect everyone to execute without question. If the franchise don't understand it or don't like the path, it won't work very well. The Prometheus process really helped here because it provided a great way to get everyone aligned and committed and part of the whole process.
He was able to deal with the political structure and the structure of the company in order to achieve our results. Some people might say, I'm capable of dealing with the top 6 because the rest of the team, that's your culture. John said, you can invite anybody you want to this room. And in fact, the more people that hear our discussion, the more powerful it's going to be for the future picture. So I'm inviting, basically the company is shut down. And everybody's saying, where's Bob? Where's John? Where's Sue? Well, they're with Roberts and they're into that Prometheus thing. But it worked.
When I briefed General Schwarzkopf on our instant thunder plan to defeat Iraq, I knew I would only have one chance to succeed and that I wouldn't have much time. If we had tried to give him some typical piece of bureaucratic gobbledygook, he would have thrown me out. So the Prometheus process provided the perfect solution. Future picture for Iraq when the war was won, the key parts of Iraq to attack to create instant shock and paralysis, and a short time frame. The plan was instant thunder to make it real clear this was not going to be another Vietnam. General Schwarzkopf was delighted.
When I met with John, I said, this has got to be very simple because there's 1,300 operators and 1,700,000 employees who need to understand where we're going. And they need to understand the why. And they need to understand then their role in helping us get there. And so when I met with John, he'd laid down a most simple explanation of what we all know is a very complex subject. What is the strategy of the company? And so when John said, we'll begin with a future picture, we'll identify centers of gravity, we'll have an exit strategy, you'll develop a red team, I started to realize the power of what this could be for McDonald's USA at the time. And what John gave us and gave me was a language that aligned the company, that aligned everybody.
Almost all our lives are spent on tactical detail. It's even how our education system works. But it's clear that tactical ability doesn't do much for you if your strategy isn't very good. And you can't get to good strategy if you can't discuss and debate it. But to do that, you need a strategic vocabulary, which the Prometheus process gives you and which works across boundaries and from top to bottom.
The language was more than the words. The language was a way to think about and articulate and align everybody as to where we were all headed. And it created such an emotional connection and a will to win that it surprised everybody, including me.
There are a lot of ways to come up with strategy. It may be good in theory, but if it doesn't get executed, it's worthless. I don't know how many times in the military and in business I have seen plans that failed because the people who needed to do them simply didn't understand them, and especially what to do if the circumstances changed even a little. This doesn't happen with the Prometheus process because the people responsible for execution are the ones who build the plan, and they build it from the top down. So they really understand what they have put together and they are enthusiastic about it. It beats the over-the-transom approach every time.
In the marketplace today, the threats are real to whoever engages in this process, whether you're a local hospital, a doctor's office, whether you've just started a business, whether you're the CEO of the Coca-Cola company. The threats are real. And your organization is powerful, it's successful, but does that guarantee it? I don't think so. So if you envision a future picture where your stock quadruples, you envision a future picture where your market share doubles, you envision a future picture where, because of what you've imposed upon the market, your opportunity for future growth is greater than you can imagine, and that's the numerator. And then you say, well, to get that done, I need to spend $10 million because I'm going to have a series of all of these sessions. I'm just using that number. And you do the math, you'll be happy with that investment.
And these are just a few snippets from our interview with Michael Roberts. To get the rest of the story on what the Prometheus process can do for your organization, the next step would be to schedule a 30-minute briefing where we can unpack your firm's issues and begin to clarify your future vision.